Welcome to the Bible Forum. Are you a binge watching person? You sit and watch TV, television, or videos, or on your phone or whatever? Do you just sit and watch these things all the time? I watch people in life when they don't have someone talking to them, they're looking at their phone. And I've taken the time in recent weeks, when it's not too spooky, to get in a position where I can see what it is they're watching, what it is they're doing. And they're not really doing anything all that important. They're just flipping from one thing to another just to see this chat or this text or this movie or this picture, or maybe they're going through their pictures. I know mothers will show you the picture of their babies. That's a little different sort of a thing. Here's a fellow by the name of Robert Predit. He's a Health Day reporter. I have no idea what Health Day is. I take it it's a newspaper or a rag of some sort that has to do with health. But he says binge watching episodes of your favorite shows does no favor for your brain. He goes on to say it's important to recognize that the brain is not an isolated organ. It responds to its environment. Randall Wright is a neurologist at Houston Methodist Hospital in Texas, and he says that the brain responds to its environment. When we binge watch, we create an unhealthy environment for the brain because we're sitting for long periods of time, isolating ourselves from social activities, and eating large amounts of unhealthy food. He's not making judgments about what you watch, but just simply that you're in that mode, that you're just doing this watching. Wright likens the instant gratification of watching episode after episode of a show to wanting to continue gambling even after you win. If you indulge often, this cycle and the side effects of binge watching can lead to harmful brain and body changes. In other words, it's a problem when watching a third, fourth, or fifth episode of your favorite show, replacing some sort of a healthy activity. But here's the good news, he says. You don't have to stop cold turkey. There are a lot of different ways to ward off negative effects of binge watching. Now, I got to tell you, this is the classic psychological dribble. When something is destroying you, you stop it. You say, well, I can't stop. You can. You can do anything you want to do. You can do this. He says, well, it wouldn't be healthy for you to just stop. So let's look at how we can ward off the negative effects of this horrible thing you're doing. He said, first make sure it doesn't prevent you from getting enough sleep. Nobody's going to do that. He said, before you start your show, determine what time you need to go to bed to get enough sleep. Might be helpful to set in a bedtime alarm so that you don't lose track of time, help you to stick to the decision. I say if you got that kind of common sense, you wouldn't be binge watching in the first place. He says, get your exercise. Again, recent research has shown that the brain can generate new cells and connections through a process known as neurogenesis. And exercise is a key to that process. Taking a walk around the neighborhood before binge watching. See, he's not telling you not to binge watch. And standing for 5 minutes during every episode to help keep your body and brain active. I would simply say the same thing would go for what? Turning it off and go do something. He didn't say that. He also recommends watching it with friends. If you're watching TV for 6 hours, that's 6 hours of not interacting with others. So now we got friends who are binge watching, and that'll help. He said the hours alone add up and can lead to depression and other mental health issues. Balancing time alone with television and time spent with loved ones is key to avoiding social isolation. Okay. If you have snacks, make healthy choices. Hummus and vegetables. Oh, I can see teenagers going for hummus or fruits. These are great snacks if you crave something while you're binge watching. Try to stay away from binge eating salty, fatty foods when you sit down to watch television. Who eats hummus? And what about the adult beverages? Do you know anybody who would actually do any of this? To make binge watching safer and more healthy? We're hanging out, for Pete's sake. We're trying to zone out from reality, not worrying about what all this can do to us. But the so-called experts like Dr. Wright feel good about themselves because they've given us tools to keep us healthy while we do unhealthy things. As Charlie Brown is wont to say, good grief. However, there's a sizable number of Americans who actually believe all this is effective. Folks who have never actually been there, as we say. If parents would parent, we wouldn't have these problems. And you wouldn't be spending money on psychologists or hummus either.